Hello and welcome to the Globetrotter. Today we have with us a household name for dance. He's known as the ambassador of dance for Sri Lanka, who's performed in some of the most prestigious locations in the world. Let's welcome Channa Wijewardena. Hello Channa, welcome to the Globetrotter.
Hello, hi everyone, long life, everyone.
Hi, Guru.
Hi, great, nice seeing you all.
Channa, you often perform in states. Can you just tell us a bit about it?
Well, there are two kinds of performance I do in States. One I do for all the Americans and people living in USA, not for Sri Lanka, not much of the Sri Lankans, a lot what I do with Imran. And then some of the shows I do for the Sri Lankans living in these states. LA, Los Angeles, we go into the Universal Studios, all the girls run into this Disneyland, and it's fun. You should go there and get the feeling. We see them on TV and we read about them, but once you get in there, at that moment, the thought at that moment, that fun, the moment, the entertainment at that moment, you have to just visit there and you get the feeling. And we, as dancers, we have got the opportunity to go there. Then going to NASA, seeing all the rockets and blah, 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 blah. Then Houston, I did Miller Theatre in Houston, and I was so happy to perform at the Miller Theatre because I saw photographs of that film Whiplash. You remember Whiplash? And that was shot there. So I saw the photograph of this guy drumming, and the concert was there. And we were performing at that particular theatre. And I had an audience of about close to 5,000. There was about 1,000 seated. The other rest 3,500 was standard. And they start in the evening, not in the night. So there's daylight also. And the show goes on till night. So it's a beautiful experience. And all the Americans and Sri Lanka, a lot of Indians come. And, it's more than while we showcase our tradition, there's a lot of fun happening. And we enjoy the movement of performing, movement of dance on stage because we have a lovely audience. So then coming into, we did Kennedy Center, and then it's lovely. So when you see the list down Kennedy, you see from Michael Jackson to Lionel Richie and all the Swan Berries, and all the great artists coming, and in the corner, in the end, I think at that time my name was not there, but now Channa will be there with our flag, Sri Lankan flag. So you get Kenny Rogers are there, all the people performing at Kennedy Center. There's a list on the wall. There's a big list down, and if you go now, you might see it. That is Kennedy Center. Yeah.
Channa, the Kennedy Center is in Washington, D.C., right?
That's in Washington, D.C. That's right. And there's a lovely thing, but sorry, couldn't get that.
It's supposed to be one of the most prestigious venues in the United States.
Kennedy Center.
So you might be one of the very few, or maybe the only Sri Lankan who has ever performed there.
Must have been others, like Rohan said, the Shilawis must have performed there. Not really sure, but must have. But Sri Lankan dance, I think I was the only one who did the Sri Lankan culture.
I know that you and your troupe somehow or other managed to do something to see a bit of that place before you get out of there. I saw pictures of your White House. You all were opposite the White House. I don't know if you went and...
You got the opportunity to visit the White House.
Right. So all of you...
Six ambassadors and 6 of us went and visit the White House and we saw the White House.
So what did you all do in Washington? What are the attractions that are there for somebody who wants to visit? And how did you
see, before I performed at Kennedy Center, I wanted to see a performance. Then at Carnegie Hall in New York.
Carnegie Hall, yes.
We asked to see a performance, and we get the opportunity to see a performance. I want to get the feeling of it. So in Paris, Sydney, at the Opera House, I wanted to see performances there. We see a performance before performing because it's new for us. So you get the feel of the audience. So we saw Cats, we saw Phantom Opera, we saw Lion King. These are lovely things we see, and opera, live performances, solo performances. And in America, we saw lots of things like this. Send me, when you're going to America, New York, can you remember something? What happened in New
York? Yes. In New York, what happened was, I can very quickly say it. We were traveling from Colombo to the States through France.
Through France, and we got Air India. We had to.
Yes. And in France, we lost all our baggage.
All our baggage.
Oh.
We didn't know that until we got down from New York. We never knew that.
That's right.
Only New York was when we realized that none of the luggage was there. Nothing was there. And so the reason is, we sat down there, and there is one day for the show. We just sat there, and I just Why have we come here? We have come here to perform. So how can you perform? No costume. But we cannot say no. So Imran said, no one can say. So Imran said, Dylan gave us a
Because
guide.
all the costumes were in the baggage.
Everything
There
was
wasn't a costume.
nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
Then Dylan was there. He was handling the group, and he gave us a guide. And Imran said, "Can you go walk into the streets?" And there was small India, little India, something. And we went into the street.
Oh, little India. Yeah.
And we bought saris, we bought material, all kinds of things. I bought vases, ceramic vases and everything. And we came and started doing our costumes. And I said a nice experience which happened to me. What I did now we can't buy this costume. So we bought the ceramic vase. I broke it, took pieces and smoothed the edges, pierced it and made earrings.
God. So didn't you all even get it in like 2 days later or something?
No, that's a long story, Zafrana, because we went from New York, we went to Canada, and from Canada we went to Germany. The band following us from place to place, but not coming to us.
Yeah, it was. And we had the costume. What you just said. And after when the chairman, Mr. Peter, gave his speech, after the speech, he came back and said, "Thank God, Channa, you got your costume." I said, "Sir, we didn't get any."
You didn't get
costume, which is still called it the New York costume.
Awesome. That would have been an amazing experience.
When you all travel like this, Channa, isn't it exhausting? Isn't it absolutely tiring?
Well, as a troupe, to tell you the truth, it's fun. It's really fun. Places you see, people you meet, and the experience you get. It is tiring, but you don't feel it because at that particular moment, you enjoy. The feel is fun, happy. So it's not much of a. We have to get up early in the morning sometime for the flight. Yeah,
I know.
Certain things happen. Yeah.
I remember Germany. We used to get up in the freezing cold.
Oh yeah, it was snowing. Just snowing somewhere in February, March. I'd like to say, Safra, I'd like to tell something what happened in Germany. Do you remember the theater it was like Town Hall, the old one. Town Hall? Germany. You remember
it was in Bad Homburg.
That's right. A funny thing happened there. It's a very interesting thing which happened there. The show was going on, and they were Germans, all Germans. And one table, they were English-speaking people. And there was a raffle going for the ticket for Sri Lanka. The airline ticket for Sri Lanka, you remember. And before that, there was a clip shown of Sri Lanka. All the ancient cities of Sri Lanka, the Ruameli Sayas, Anuradhapura, Sigir, beautifully showcased. And then when the raffle was gone, it was an old gentleman who got the raffle. He won it. The first place to come to Sri Lanka. Once he went, got his he got it, first place one. Okay, he went to Sri Lanka, came back. While he was sitting, his grandson asked him, "Is there any hospitals in Sri Lanka?" Just asked. You remember? He asked, "Do they?" Now this small boy, the grandson, was frightened because they didn't show the the real Sri Lanka. I mean, Colombo City, Sri Lanka. How advanced we are. Not, that was not shown. So he asked, "Are there hospitals in Sri Lanka?" Which was just a silence on the whole table. That time, you changed the program was changed that very moment, and we went to fusions and moderns. And we showcased modern, and the modern Sri Lanka was shown through dance. And then obviously the message must have gone to everyone, but Sri Lanka is not only 2,500 euro and it's not staying there, it's moving. So the beautiful thing to see. Then the next clip was Colombo City and other things. So you switch. So that's why when you go on tour, you have to change, and you should know what. Change costume is the next item. But there's a reason for it.
So despite all the rehearsals you all would have had, it's all about spontaneity at the end of the day.
The moment, that we have, it's like a moment. It's a moment actually. It's activities. It's interest and the attention of someone at that particular moment. That's what entertaining is.
How many countries have you actually traveled to? What are the countries that you covered? Would you remember?
Name it, Australia, I've gone to Australia, New Zealand, the Middle East, and we performed at prestigious theatres like Khalifa, the Taurus building. We have performed there. Then the Palm, Jumeirah, the hotel, luxurious hotel. I mean, America, then Japan, China, Hong Kong, Bangkok. We've traveled. Not gone to South Africa, but almost Papua New Guinea, PNG. We have just traveled. I can just tell you I have 17 passports. So you know how much I've traveled. You know how much I've traveled. And we're promoting Sri Lanka. It was not holidaying, nothing. It's promoting Sri Lanka. All on those two. When I think it's a tour, Imran, what you see on TV and what you read in papers or magazines or anything, it's totally different once you visit there. When you see it through your own eyes, you feel that you're there, and it's lovely to visit a place like that. You see cans. And when they see our culture, they just start to feel like coming back to Sri Lanka, coming to Sri Lanka. Because, but we see, the people abroad must be hearing different things about Sri Lanka. When they see the newspaper, there's something else. News is something else. But when you see people performing and the entertainment we have, Sri Lanka is a rich country for people to come and visit Sri Lanka. So I'm very proud about it.
We are proud of what you actually do out there.
Oh, thank you.
We did a 6-hour non-stop show in the middle of Trafalgar Square.
35,000 audience. It's an audience of 35,000.
I will let you go there.
You won't believe that the double-decker suddenly stopped on the road.
In London?
In London, because the driver was also looking at the show. Just 5 hours, 6 hours, around 6 hours. We went on and on. We couldn't stop. They didn't let us stop. And I remember Imran and Rajita, go get their style in. Get the British style in. Then he was using this Alidinga, there was a song called that, which was sung by C.T. and he got another version, an English version into it. The version was totally different. We linked up to one of their melodies and how we came in. And we had to always touch the country, the melody, what we do, and the music. We had to try, even the dance, to touch them, to feel them comfortable. Anthony Surendra was in, Bhatia Santosh, I mean, all the artists were in. There's about 60 of us. And there's a procession. We had a procession around the Trafalgar Square, we were dancing around like a procession. 60 artists, Imran, you remember? There were 60.
Yeah.
The whole of the cricket team was there.
We sent all the, the ones that are used in the Whale Festival, the horses and the
peacocks and the horses, yeah.
We sent all that.
That was a fantastic show.
Another place that we used to go to, Zafrana, was Japan. That was there was a yearly annual festival there.
Oh, yeah. Yoyogi Park.
At Yoyogi Park.
That's right. Yeah. And we had to eat chopsticks.
That's right.
And we had the whole of every single Sri Lankan was on their feet. At Yoyogi Park. They're just dancing. And we are not going to heavy try. We eat a couple of traditional, then we go into Sri Lankan field. And then they come and complain, say, no one is coming to eat our food, no one is going. There are stalls, there's so much of stores. And then we get a complaint, and no one is going for the stall, they're all near the stage. And when we perform, actually, it's not only we performing on stage, it's the audience starts performing with us.
You said you all visit to Japan annually, right? Do you recall your first visit to Japan, and how was your experience?
First was in 1988.
Oh.
It was 1978.
Wow. So we are going to hear about the ancient Japan then. How was it back then, and how was your first experience?
We went to Nagano. We were performing at a place called Komoro City. First thing what we went to, we were put into a restaurant. We were really hungry at that time, and we had to get used to chopsticks. And they said everyone has to eat chopsticks, you can't use spoons. We were given green peas in a plate to eat with chopsticks. So that was training. First today you have to. And we were, before the performance, about 3 days, we were getting the feel of Japan. Just snowing also. First time.
You mean you were trained to eat with chopsticks before you left Sri Lanka?
No. Once you landed in Japan. From there on, the training was that. Then we were put in a a very Japanese hotel and sleeping on the ground, everything and blah, 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 wearing kimonos. And they gave the feel of the Japanese feel before we performed. So when we go for the dinner, we felt that it was Japanese, the feel of it. And it's all Japanese people. And they were throwing things at us, things to us. Like while we were performing, Sunday, coil, they're throwing a bit tissue, down, coming on stage, and while performing. And I didn't know what was going on. Suddenly it was money, yen being thrown onto stage. They were throwing money to the stage. I got the money around. And it was a marvelous experience. They really loved it. They really loved it. Japanese love our dance.
And when you return to Japan 20 years later, had Japan changed?
Oh yeah, it changes every day. But the culture of Japan and the people's thoughts never change. They are Japanese.
You have performed worldwide and you have had even royalty there with you.
Prince Charles came back and he wanted to meet me. Marlborough House in London, next to the Buckingham Palace. We performed there. We got the honors to perform there. Then performed for Sai Baba. He came on stage and he even gifted a. You can see this.
Right.
It's still on me. So we have performed Showcase in Sri Lanka. Jimmy Carter in Chicago, he wanted to meet us. He said he wants to meet India. I said, it's not Indian, we're Sri Lankan. He thought it was India. Very much Sri Lanka. And he called Sri Lanka Taprabin. At that time. So Jimmy Carter was nice, yeah. The thing was this, when we get a changing room in the corner, and after our rehearsal, we came to the changing room, and we have snacks, and they were eating, we were having snacks, and we had snacks. And when we went to the rehearsal and came out, Vindhya came up to me and said, sir, someone is coming having all our food. We had someone coming having our food. To see it was Jimmy Carter. We had been taking his food. He comes in to change. We were eating his brownies and sandwiches and his coffee. We didn't know our food was in the other corner. And so then we took photographs. It was fun. We took photographs and he was really taken up with us. And he saw the show. He just stood up again we performed at who the basketball player? The famous Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, in that stadium, the basketball stadium. Massive crowd for the Lions. We did a special song and we performed that song. He was on, Mr. Jimmy Carter was on stage with us. So these are very prestigious things. And almost all the heads of states in Sri Lanka performed. If I tell, I started with Mr. Gopala. William Gopala, first president. I have performed. He has even held me from behind. He was holding me by ever playing the maracas when I was small at that time.
I'm not even going to ask how old you were back then.
You can ask how old am I now.
I wouldn't want to ask that.
maybe 12, maybe 10 or 10, yeah. But my father was linked to the foreign ministry, he was a diplomat in the foreign ministry, so we had the link of getting there. So, and from there, all the presidents, I performed to all the presidents.
If I take Sri Lanka, you have performed from Sir William Gopala onwards for almost every head of state in this country up to the present president.
Yeah.
Correct?
Very proud to say that they address me by my name. They call me Channa.
And in the world, you have performed for Malaysian royalty, you have performed for Prince Charles, you have performed for Jimmy Carter.
Prince Charles I have performed about thrice, and I was invited to a birthday party also. Prince Charles. Right. Then Marlborough House, all the queens, all the VIPs from the Marlborough House, in the Buckingham Palace, there's a committee, and we performed all of them. I can just tell you something about Sydney Opera. We were the first Sri Lankans to perform in Sydney Opera. And I remember one of my friends was saying, when I stopped my car, there was a traffic block on the bridge. And when he got stuck in the traffic jam, he looked around, every single car was Sri Lankans. They were Sri Lankans. They were coming into the Sydney Opera. And I remember before every performance, we do a publicity video to show them. And we did this in front of the Sydney Opera. For the background, we got the Sydney Opera, and I used the architecture of the Sydney Opera House, and I re-choreographed a dance using the architecture of the building. So we do these experiments and small, like what we did in New York with the costumes. So when it comes to dance, we do small changes. Even Chogam I changed. The seating arrangement was different. I got the blueprint of the seating and designed the dance, the choreography according to the seating arrangement. The headers on stage, they were on stage. It's not easy to dance with 51 head of stage on stage. It's not
I remember one show that we did. There was this. There was something that was supposed to burst on stage, which was it was a
glass, sugar glass.
Movie glass.
Yeah, sugar
and
glass.
The glass started on stage,
That's
and
right.
the next item was being done by Windia, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. She did the Titanic.
Got on the stage.
Yeah.
She had actually performed with bare feet on broken glass.
And one was in her heel. One was inside her. And she continued performing. She continued performing with that in her heel.
And you couldn't see it on the expression on her face.
She never showed.
Her expression was just done.
And she just sat down, then we put ice and everything, we took it out. But she performed because she has come to do a performance and she did it.
Fusion first started. I remember Channa getting hammered in the papers.
Oh, yeah.
Saying that he was going against tradition.
Destroy, steal and getting hammered. And they are doing that, everyone is doing the same thing now. Some music is doing it.
But now everybody follows.
It's a moment. I'm always using this word moment, thought in that particular moment. And you cannot force someone to watch a traditional dance. You're going to lose the moment. You're going to lose them. He's going to go. Your thought is gone. So you can't lose it. You want to keep that. That's the most difficult thing. You can't say, no, this singer has to sing and he has to come here. No way. He may be the greatest singer, but no way. You can't use that. Leave that moment. You're keeping in the moment. You have to feel the rhythm of the Western rhythm and you can't just feel at once. You have to just, you can't fuse everything. You can't fuse pulse and ball and ice cream together. It's not going to work. It's the way of fusing. That's what a lot of men make the mistake by fusing two different things.
You need to know both very well to
you should know the product which comes out from it. Two things getting together. When what comes out is a different thing.
So with all the places that you've gone to, Channa, what's your most unforgettable travel experience? Maybe in any country or...
The experience was New York costumes.
Oh, yes.
Of course, that is it. Then the beauty of the thing, I think I love Japan. The people in Japan. People. Then going to Los Angeles and visiting Universal Studios and visiting this place, and then theaters in London. When you go down Oxford Street, what's the famous Oxford Street? Huh?
Yeah, Oxford Street.
London, near the bookstores, you get these theaters.
That's Leicester Square.
That's right. So we'll never forget these places. And there's a lot to learn when you go overseas. You always gather things. You always get what you see is the visual, what you gather. So you should visit places. Best place to shop. Best place to shop. Now is Sri Lanka. In Russia, I went to the Bolshoi Theatre. There's a superb tour at the Bolshoi Theatre. And I was so happy my own friend, my colleague Ravi Bhatt, we were together. And we went and visited the Bolshoi Theatre. And all the famous dances, Nureyev and Margot Fontaine and all these names are coming out. And it's marvelous. That's a tour. I didn't go and see a performance. I took the tour. There was a performance to see, but on the tour, you see performances, parts, and where they perform. Even you can go to the theater. You can go into the theater and the museums and all. Old costume, the costumes they wore at Swan Lake, what they wore. When the first Swan Lake costume is there, how they designed it, why they designed it. So the tour is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Those theaters are beautiful, aren't they? They're rich in.
Very old. It's all gold. Half of them are gold around. And those production goes for about 8-9 hours. And those go and be given. Now it's only 2.5 hours. Earlier about 8-9 hours long. And for the king, there's a small room like apartment inside the theater. You can take a nap and come.
The one theater in Colombo that reminds me of those theaters is the Regal Theatre. It's now a cinema. But it was
Elphinstone
old-
Theatre, Regal Theatre. Elphinstone again, Regal Theatre. That's right.
I'm going to ask you a tough question. Out of all the places you visited, what are your top 3 favorite countries?
Theaters or countries? Theater
To visit as a tourist, maybe?
to visit. My first go is to Japan. Love Japan. Then I will always say the States. There's so many things to see in the States. Then next, I think I will go to Paris and Germany go together. So Paris, to go to Paris or go to Germany. But Japan is a totally different experience you get there. But the feel you get in Paris, it's a little like what you get in Germany. Theaters-wise, you get a lot of theaters in Germany. Paris, the same. You get theaters in Paris as well. But Germany, London is a different sort of experience. But every country, I think every country is nice. You can't say no. You can't choose what am I going. I'll put a toss. If I get Germany and Paris, I'll put a coin up. But Japan, yes. India, I love India. Maybe because our culture is close to India.
You took part in something called the Carnival of Culture. Right?
Carnival cultures. Yeah, and it was we have to do a procession of it's 7 miles because there was 99 countries, 178 troops, groups. So we do a procession. Is nothing for Sri Lanka. Yeah, it's in our blood. We do Paraharas every day. So we did the procession and we had to perform for 90 seconds. And we were chosen first. And I had only 10 dancers. Others, some had 50, 60, 100 of floats coming and gymnastics and so many things come to the competition. But I had only 10 dancers and we just performed. I had my lion and we did it.
It was held in Germany, Channa. This
Germany, in Berlin. Just held it in Berlin.
It was a competition.
It was a competition. Carnival of cultures. All cultures they perform and they choose the number 1.
Is it annually done or was it only done for that particular?
Annually. It's annual. Yeah, somewhere around May, June, July, or May. Yeah.
When did you all win?
2012.
Channa, thank you very much for joining us. You have taken us around the world.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for taking us around. Honor. Otherwise it was always our traditional dance we show, but we got the opportunity to give our expertise in what we are capable of doing. We are not only traditional dancers. Sri Lanka is not only like what it did in Germany. We are not only 2,500. We are showing that 2,000. We have a history of 2,500 years, and that's it. So people wonder they are still like that. No.
True.
We show that.
And hopefully I will see you soon in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, please come back.
It's been an honor chatting with you, Channa, and it was lovely to get to know you. Thank you so much once again for joining with us at the Globetrotter.
Thank you. It was an honor to just share what I